He was the weird kid with the limp, the one they never picked first, the one whose voice cracked too often. Some said he looked soft, others called him fake. But the moment that changed everything didn't happen on a court. It happened in a cold recording booth years later when nobody believed in him. This is the true story of how a quiet, injured teenager was laughed out of 2 careers, only to become one of the most unstoppable forces in music history. But you won't believe who he is until the very end. Growing up in a modest neighborhood just outside downtown, this kid never quite fit the mold. His father was a musician, but mostly absent. His mother, battling health issues while working as a teacher. Their tiny apartment was just big enough to hold 2 dreams. Hers for him to be normal, and his for something bigger. In school, he wasn't a troublemaker, just overlooked. His voice didn't boom. His shoes weren't fresh. And one day, everything really changed. On a basketball court, a torn ACL at 15. That injury would leave him limping for almost a year, but what it really tore open was self-doubt. Because while his friends kept playing ball, he was stuck at home, healing, alone. And that's when he turned to something else. Storytelling. One of his old teachers sent an audition tape to a local TV agency. A few callbacks later, the kid found himself cast in a teen soap drama, playing a student who gets shot and ends up in a wheelchair. Art imitating life, right? For years, the show was his full-time job. And sure, the checks were nice, but the whispers weren't. Oh, you're that wheelchair kid from TV. You act? Stick to that. You ain't a real rapper. Behind the scenes, he was writing lyrics, practicing flows, recording mixtapes no one asked for. He'd get home from set, take off the costume and record for hours. No studio, no producer, just hunger. He even messaged famous rappers begging them to listen.
Please subscribe!
Most ignored him, but one day, one didn't. A major US rapper, already a legend in the making, heard one of his rough demos. And instead of brushing him off, he made a phone call. You've got it, come to Houston. And that was it. The door opened. Slightly, but once this kid stepped through, he kicked it down. He started crafting verses with melody, pain, and confidence all rolled into one. Critics mocked his soft style at first, like too emotional, too sing-songy. But fans felt it. The heartbreak, the loneliness. The pressure of trying to prove yourself to a world that only sees the surface. But just as he rose, the industry turned. Ghostwriting accusations, diss tracks. One of the biggest producers in the world began targeting him online. Some said he wasn't writing his own bars. Others said he owed his whole career to that first cosign. And then another rival released a track that exposed what seemed like a fatal flaw. He could rap, sure, but could he battle? That response broke streaming records. He didn't just defend his throne, when he reinforced it with facts, humor, and composure. Suddenly, the joke stopped. The wheelchair kid wasn't just surviving in the game. He was leading it. That kid with the limp, the one from the modest apartment, the one who begged producers to listen, the one who wrote hooks at 3 a.m. after long filming days, is now the most streamed artist in music history. With over 100 Billboard hits and billions, yes, billions, of views and plays. His name is Drake.
Say my name, wear it out. It's getting hot, crack a window, air it out.
And if you thought you knew his story,
Track money, Benny. I buy you champagne, but you love some Henny.
You just learned how it really started.
Beat it, what? Beat it, what? Beat it, what? Beat it, what? Beat it.
Want more hidden backstories like this one? Subscribe and catch the next legend's origin. But don't expect us to name names too early.